Blessings, everyone. Welcome back to the Temples of Atlantis. As always, I am Priscilla Campos, and it's nice to have you here as we continue on our journey through the 12 temples of Cosmic Conscious Reiki. Today, we land on the Temple of the Rose, which, of course, is really an embodiment of Pleiadian Rose Healing. Now, if you followed my story from how Cosmic Conscious Reiki was created, and how the Arcturians were the first ones to really present themselves to me. The Pleiadians are ones that I actually grew fascinated about. Once I had opened up into Arcturian frequencies and also to Syrian frequencies, I was really drawn to this energy of the Pleiadians as well as the Seven Sisters. Now, the Temple of the Rose is very closely associated with Usui Reiki level 2. So this is where you learn the 3 Usui Reiki symbols. But it's actually really about this deeper emotional healing and connection. And it happens to be one of my favorite levels that I've taught over and over and over again. So I just want to give you a little bit of introduction of why it feels so good and why it's a beautiful thing to learn, not just for yourself, but if you choose to share it with others, it helps us all expand more in the heart. And given the state of our universe, I should say, of our world, we need that, right? We need more compassion, more understanding, more kindness, more love, more self-respect, more boundaries, but of course, more unity. So here's a few things that I wanted to dive into today. Number one, why the rose? The Pleiadians themselves are very, very integrated into the Lemurians of this realm. The Lemurians are Earth's guardians. They're very, very connected to all of life, from the ocean to the mountain, to the trees, to the flowers, to the fruits and vegetables, and much more. But when we think about the rose in particular, the rose has been a part of many, many teachings for thousands upon thousands of years. And what makes the rose so beautiful is the layers, right? The rose doesn't just go, poof, I'm here. Layer by layer, petal by petal, it unfolds its beauty, its essence, its fragrance to you. Roses of different colors represent different parts of our chakras that open up, that radiate in joy and in love. And when we can be as soft and delicate as a rose within our own beings, this is the way that we can find emotional healing, a dissolving of resentments, more forgiveness that flows, that then just opens you up into a higher frequency of love, which then helps you create and manifest from a place of love, which is the most beautiful thing to do, versus a place of fear. So it can represent, of course, divine love and beauty. And in the Temple of the Rose, my ascended master that leads this particular module is Mother Mary. Now, Mary Magdalene is a part of the Arcturian temple. She could easily be a part of the Pleiadian temple, but this is just how they showed me to lay it out back in the day, a few years ago, when I was organizing everything. So feeling the energy of Mother Mary, not a part of the biblical teachings. If you want to be a part of that, sure, but feeling her energy as this one and beautiful Holy Mother, the one, she's known as like the Queen of the Angels, the Queen of the Archangels. When we call on Mother Mary, the thing that we feel the most is really unconditional love without judgment. It's so pure that at times it makes you cry. Now, I'm going to be sharing a reel shortly on Instagram once again, but last year when I was in Portland, I went to a sanctuary that's devoted to Mother Mary. And the most beautiful opening happened for me. And I do a lot of spiritual work, a lot of energy work. So, I'm used to a lot of wonderful things. But sitting in her chapel, I could feel the force of her working from my feet up into my crown. Now, because I get vertigo very often, it was almost like she was going to blow my crown off. She had so much to share with me and deliver to me that I took in those forces, and then I immediately went outside and grounded by some beautiful, beautiful Pacific Northwest trees. I'm assuming they were cedars, but they could have been something different. And I was just profoundly aware of how strong her presence is. Now, after that, I went into several rose gardens, I was in Portland, I was in San Diego, and then I want to say maybe in Paris, I was at some rose gardens as well. And all I could think of was the way that they heal through their gentle form, the way that Mother Mary weaves her magic in through them, if you are aware enough to receive it, because it does take an awareness just to stop and literally smell the roses, right? It's one of the most beautiful things. So with the Pleiadian connection, when I think about the Pleiadians, they're lovely teachers. They feel like ancient grandmothers. I haven't actually met any Pleiadian males. It doesn't mean they don't exist. I just happen to meet a lot of Pleiadian females. And ancient grandmother energy, but like the strong kind, not just the kind that's going to be like you can do whatever you want, but like you need to wake up. You need to be on your purpose. You need to speak your truth. You need to live in your truth in order for this world to change. So there's some really wonderful Pleiadian authors that I love. I mention it as well in all of my courses. I always have a reading list, an optional reading list, but Barbara Messiniak's work is one of my favorites. It really shows you the foresight and the energy of the Pleiadians. So yes, they simplify unconditional love, compassion, emotional healing, creativity, harmony, and higher relationships, but they don't do it in a forceful way. They do it in a way that's as easy as breath. And when you allow yourself to come into that frequency, that's when true healing can start. So this Cosmic Conscious Reiki path is one that I continue to teach, to hold space for, to bring students all around the world into, because I believe it is just another step in healing humanity. If we look at all the division, all the fear, all the violence, what we need most is the mother's love, the mother who protects her children, the mother who wants all children to be safe, all children to be loved, all children to be nurtured. So Mother Mary's energy really coming through in the Temple of the Rose is one of the most beautiful units that you're going to experience in the foundation temple. I've been teaching this for 4 years now. I'd say it happens to be one of my favorite, my students' favorite healing, because I think it's the easiest to apply. Pleiadian Rose Healing is something that I learned from a book and then expanded on through the knowledge of my soul. And people love it so much. They use it with animals, they use it with their clients, and of course they use it on themselves. And I love hearing from my students how innovative they are, because a rose can be placed anywhere. One of my students would every morning open an umbrella, and it'd be a rose umbrella, and then everything that she's receiving are these divine codes of love over and over and over again. Now, if you're taking every single step on your path and it is filled with love, what's going to come to greet you? Love. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The Pleiadians, although we associate them a lot with Lemuria, they're also very important in Atlantis. And the Seven Sisters in particular, which we get into in Temple 4, are incredible Atlantean priestesses that have so much to teach us. But when the Pleiadians come into Atlantis, it has that integration of Lemurian frequency and being the Earth's guardians with this higher frequency of how much love can we live from? How can we appreciate and have gratitude for everything and just keep creating more and more golden unity upon the planet? So I would love for you to join me in this short transmission to begin to understand how beautiful these frequencies are. And if you're ready, all you have to do is close your eyes. Take some deep breaths. Visualize you're in a beautiful rose garden that's abundant in its beauty, in its light. And while you are very grounded, okay, so maybe the earth is a little damp and your feet sink in a little bit into the lush grass, you're also very expansive. There's this lightness in your heart that's beginning to emerge as we visualize a radiant pink rose blooming within the heart. Each petal unfolds slowly and intentionally. As it does so, your heart begins to soften. Resentments or injustices that you've held tightly in your body and your heart begin to melt, begin to bend, begin to dissolve. People or circumstances that you haven't found any forgiveness for previously, those awarenesses of how heavy that feels within you is coming into your consciousness, and you get to choose today how light you want to be moving forward. Those petals that represent heartbreak, especially the kind without understanding, can you allow yourself to receive the light, the love, the glory of Mother Mary? Can you allow yourself to fall into her arms, your head to her chest, as you tune into the exceptional brilliance of her heart? And again, your heart softens and unfolds. Between you both, golden and rose light gently expands throughout the body. On the breath in, you receive from her. On the breath out, you give to her. Golden rose light filling your auric field with soft blue Pleiadian rose light, just like Mother Mary's robe, surrounding your auric field. The Pleiadians and Mother Mary remind you that you are deeply loved and supported, and that you deserve love. You deserve joy, peace, abundance, and freedom. And working with the Pleiadians, working with Mother Mary, is just one way to get to that next level, the next level of what you're seeking, of what you love, of what your soul is showing you is your truth. Taking a deep breath in, perhaps placing your hand to your heart, feeling that radiant rose energy within you. We say, thank you, thank you, thank you, Mother Mary. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the Pleiadians. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Creator, for all you give us and bless us with. Rama Tima Ra, Rama Tima Ra, Rama Tima Ra. Everything sacred is blessed. Everything blessed is sacred. Because you are sacred, you are blessed. And because you are blessed, you are sacred. So if this teaching resonates with you, I'd love to invite you to explore Cosmic Conscious Reiki. The foundational temple is the Temple of Arcturus, the Temple of the Rose, and the Temple of Sirius. And together they create this incredible foundation for exploratory work with the Seven Sisters, with the Alpha Centaurians, with the Orions, the Dragons, the Lemurians, the Golden Atlanteans, the Unicorns, the Angelic hierarchy, and eventually, of course, with Source, Sophia, God themselves. Thank you so much. I'm sending you many, many blessings. Ra Mati Ma Ra.